Okay, so it's time for the second episode of Fifth Wheelin' Food and Fixin'. Tonight, my queen is taking the show over. She's going to cook a special type of, it's banana bread, but she's going to make muffins because I have to go to Calgary this week for a course. So while I'm gone, I got to have some muffins that are, they're not keto, really.
They're not paleo, but they can be. They're just a little healthier version. We're cutting
Way
out
healthier,
the actual wheat flour and all the processed sugar.
Okay, so I'll flip around here and we'll show you what's in them, and maybe you want to try this. It's really good, actually. I was concerned when we had it before, since we're trying to lose the fat here. I got to lose some weight. So healthy eating, and you still need a treat, right? So this was a great recipe that we found that is gonna let you have a snack and not get a whole bunch of sugar. So let's have a look at what we have.
All right, so for this healthier version of banana bread, what you need are a couple of bananas, a quarter cup of coconut oil. We just buy ours in bulk at the bulk barn here in Canada.
Way cheaper.
A quarter cup of peanut butter.
Smooth.
2 tablespoons of honey.
Canadian.
A teaspoon of vanilla. A couple of eggs. A quarter cup of almond flour. A quarter cup of coconut flour. A half a teaspoon each of baking soda and baking powder, a half a teaspoon of salt, a half a teaspoon of cinnamon, and a half cup of some type of chopped nuts. We've got just chopped pecans here. We also like walnuts on occasion, depending on what mood we're in and what I happen to have in the cupboard. And then
because it's week 4 of our diet, going
Yes.
on week 5, and we've lost significant amount of weight. This is going to have a little treat in it.
I'm gonna put in a quarter cup of little mini chocolate chips just to add a little something to it.
Okay, so let's get to the process.
Okay, so to start this, I've just got a little one of our soup bowls. It works out great. I'm gonna start with a quarter cup of almond flour and our quarter cup of coconut flour.
Who knew there was such thing as almond flour and coconut flour? I honestly have to tell you, I didn't know that.
And one thing I've learned with these is you don't want to pack them down like you can with regular white wheat flour. And then we're going to go with half a teaspoon of salt.
And don't worry, we'll put a screenshot on of the recipe and the process at the end of this.
Half a teaspoon of baking soda. Half a teaspoon of baking powder, and a half a teaspoon of cinnamon. And I always add a little bit more just because we
Love cinnamon.
really love our cinnamon. So I go with about 3/4 of a teaspoon.
Hey, check in the comments below after. Tell me if you've ever put cinnamon in your coffee, in your coffee maker, right in the grounds, and brew it with some cinnamon. That's a fantastic thing. Kind of started out as a Christmas thing for us, and now we sort of do it all the time. Right? Yeah.
We end up missing it the days that I don't put cinnamon in.
Especially now that I don't use sugar in my coffee anymore either. I'm sure we've all seen this. Stevia. Well, that's Truvia's brand, stevia. It's the only artificial sweetener that I do like that doesn't leave a weird aftertaste. So
It's because it's plant-based.
it's plant-based, yeah.
It's
But the
not.
fruit-based ones aren't good because they cause anal leakage. It said. I can't imagine that's a good thing at all.
All right, so
Sorry about that. I had to say that.
after all that, I just have everything mixed up. I just use my fingers. Just make sure you get all the lumps out of all your flours.
Lisa just likes to play instead of using a whisk. Right?
I grew up on the farm. We do everything with our hands.
Okay,
So
so
there's
then all the
that.
dry ingredients are in there.
All right, so
See? Well, I think now what you put in some
we've got
coconut oil. How much
yeah,
coconut
the
oil?
1/4 cup of coconut oil and a 1/4 cup of peanut butter.
Okay.
Just in a kind of a little bit of a bigger bowl. We're going to stick this in the microwave. Depending on the power of your microwave, someplace between
1,000. Oh, aye.
30, 30 seconds and a minute. You just kind of want them both melted down together.
Not boiling up. Okay, we'll come back after that's ready. That was like 45 seconds.
Give or take a little bit, yeah.
And ours, that Magic Chef's getting a little tired. It's old. We're not really microwave people, so I'm just gonna
So
mix the heck out of
I don't totally melt it in the microwave. I just get it's about 3/4 melted, and then I just stir it, and the residual heat from what is melted just sort of continues to melt the rest of this. And then you end up with just kind of a slurry. So just make sure all your coconut oil is melted down nicely, your peanut butter is melted down nicely.
Okay.
There we go. So while I have that in the microwave, I peeled those 2 bananas and
Just mash
squished
them with
them
a
up.
fork.
Yeah, I
make
just
baby food. Yep.
pretty much. So we're gonna add those bananas into the coconut oil and the peanut butter. And we're gonna put a couple of eggs in there as well. The recipe calls for 1 teaspoon of vanilla. I do this lots. I just kind of free pour because I know about how much a teaspoon is.
Just like good whiskey, should only be free pour, right? No measuring. No.
No measuring.
Same with the honey,
And
because it never comes out of the spoon.
a couple of tablespoons of honey. And amazingly enough, when we first tried this recipe, I did not think that 2 tablespoons of honey would end up being enough to sweeten this, but it is
really
plenty. This by no means is flat or
And that
doesn't taste good.
You know, yeah, and that could be because like the coconut flour maybe adds a bit of sweetness.
It does. The coconut flour smells amazing. Your coconut oil smells amazing. You get all that flavor from the 2.
And
so
it's good for you.
there we go. All
Healthy,
right.
healthy oils. Yep.
So we've got that, and you just want to give this a good stir and get everything kind of incorporated. Your bananas don't need to be totally mashed. You never will get them. I always have a few lumps in mine. It just gives you little bursts of banana flavor throughout. So once you've got that all mixed together, you want to dump in your flours and your spices, your baking powder, and just kind of give this a little bit of a mix. You don't need to do a ton of mixing for it. You just kind of want to get everything wet.
So we thought about, making bowls up ahead of time, each with the right amount of ingredients in, and not showing any of the mixing and all that. And then we thought, well, you know what? On a long video, that kind of saves a bunch of time. But really, we wanted to show you guys just how quick and easy this is to make. So, pretty much 99% just showing it all in real time without any editing, and you can see how quick and easy this is to make. Because you see, It's 20 to 9 at night, and we're making this. We just got back from bowling. We haven't bowled in like 15
Oh,
years.
it's been forever.
I can't believe how sore I'm going to be from 10-pin bowling tomorrow, but
Okay, so we put in the half a cup of nuts. Like I said, we are using chopped pecans today, and a quarter cup of chocolate chips.
pecans.
Pecans.
Pecans. Depends where you live. Up in Canada, it's pecans. I'm pretty sure I've been in the southern states and heard pecans.
Now, the nice thing with this recipe is if you are someone who's following a paleo diet, of course, you can omit the chocolate chips and change out your peanut butter for something like almond butter, and you've got your paleo banana bread as well.
And to be fair, we are not on a diet, so to speak. There's so many fad diets, and all the power to anybody that can get on those and make them work. I've never been able to. Actually, stopping smoking 20 years ago is when my weight gain started. But only in the last 8 or 9 years, kind of, have I been getting pudgy. So getting older, got to get the weight off the knees, and makes that big Harley easier to hold up to. So so we refer to the paleo diet and taking these out. We're just doing a healthier lifestyle, a little more exercise and a better diet. So this is why we are looking for nice snacks still, but that are healthy. So instead of a bag of chips.
Okay, so now normally I would put this into an 8 or a 9-inch loaf pan and then stuff it into a 350 degree oven, let it bake for 30 to 40 minutes. I usually start checking it around the 32-minute mark. And but today, like Brad said, because he's off to Calgary, I am going to make him some muffins, and we're gonna try this out. I'm thinking these will probably take only around 20 minutes or so to bake, because they are, of course, a lot smaller than a loaf pan.
We're just gonna point the camera at the stove and go have a shower so you can watch it bake for 20 minutes. No, I'm kidding. We will edit that part out. We'll show you the goodness after. So, and I think one thing that we noticed with this though, it doesn't rise because there's no flour, so you don't get the big rise. So these muffins won't come heaving out the top like normal muffins do. So
no, they will
you can
be
put quite a bit of batter in here. You don't have to worry about them spill. I don't think, because the loaf didn't.
The loaf didn't really rise. It did a little bit because you do have baking powder, baking soda, but the baking powder reacts differently with the coconut flour and the almond flour.
So, relating to camping, I don't know, like we have a Traeger, and we also have a gas Weber that we bring with. So for all you kindred spirits out there that are into running smokers and grills and stuff, you can now take this, you can make this in your trailer, in your RV out camping, and then fire it in the Traeger, fire it in your smoker or whatever you got, you know, especially the smoker, and nice controlled heat like that. Set your smoker for 350 and throw these in there for 20 minutes, and no have to cook inside, won't get that extra heat in your trailer. You know, we don't want to overwork those ACs. So.
Well, and those propane stoves in your trailers we all know they don't bake that great to start with. So
no. Temperature control is an issue. So anyways, there they are.
There they are.
So let's pop those in the oven, and we'll set a timer for about 20 minutes, and we will be back to show you the results. Okay, so it's been about 20 minutes. Let's have a look at these bad boys. Use your little pokey stick. And you do that. What are you supposed to look for?
You just want to make sure that there's no batter stuck. I've got a little cake tester. You can use a toothpick too if you don't have something fancy like that. But you just want.
Oh, do they smell good?
It says you just want to make sure that it comes out clean.
And as you can see, they don't rise up like normal muffins. They just sort of came right to the top. Ooh. I can't tell you how good. Too bad this didn't have smell-o-vision. You should smell these. They're fantastic. Okay, so what's the plan?
So what I usually do is I let them cool for 5 to 10 minutes in a loaf pan, a good 10 minutes. These I'll probably only let them cool about 5 minutes because I don't use the cupcake liners. I just sprayed my pan really, really good, and once the pan gets to be cool enough that I can touch it with my bare hands, I'll just use a fork and pop these suckers out.
Dun, dun, dun. Look at that. That looks fantastic. Oh. And I get to take them to Calgary. Let's see, 3, 6, and there's 12. I'm gone for 4 days, so I guess I should only take 4. That's why I bought 4, not those 2, but those 4 oranges. They're ridiculous. How much are they?
$5 a pound.
$5 a pound for these oranges. These are the ones that look like little grenades, you know? I don't know if you guys have ever seen these before, but best oranges in the world, but boy, do you pay for them. So anyways, we'll let these cool for 5 minutes, 5-ish minutes.
5-ish minutes.
And then we'll bring you back for the popping out. Okay, so it's been 5-6 minutes here.
Pan is cool enough to touch, so
what's the trick?
I sprayed my pan really, really, really well. With what? I actually buy this. I had taken a cake decorating class a couple of years ago.
What's in it?
It's a non-stick spray, but it's also got a little bit of flour in it. So, I mean, if you're doing a paleo stuff, you may not want to do it, but works really, really good. You can just use a regular, any type of cooking spray. And
oh, look at that.
Voila. Beautiful. They come out really, really nice.
Ta-da. So, and if you're like me, knock it down the middle, smash on some real butter, and but gotta not use too much, right? But wow. So anyways, there you have it. Tonight's episode for the second part, fifth wheel, food is food. So hope you guys dug the recipe. Hope you give it a try. Please give it a try. And then if you're into this kind of thing, if you like the bacon, if you want to try something different, I guarantee you it's every bit as delicious as your mom's and your wife's traditional banana bread, and it's healthier. And we really want you to try it if you're into this, and then leave us a comment down below and let us know. Please remember to hit that subscribe button and like this video. Thank you.